Here's how I turned this cake into a tiny world where the Smurfs could find their magic. I was so excited to create such a fun and colorful cake to celebrate the new Smurfs movie coming out July 18th starring Rihanna as Smurfette. I started out by covering this 10-inch cake in green fondant, and this created the base for my Smurfy village. Next, I covered the entire board in that same green fondant before using my airbrush. I grabbed a slightly darker shade of green to create some shadow. Once I have the base and board ready, I frost a 3-layer 7-inch cake to place right on top of that bottom tier. And this is my favorite part. It's not just any regular round top tier. This was the base for my mushroom Smurf house. I carved the top of that base just a little bit and frosted in ivory buttercream. Then I carved the mushroom top using 2 8-inch cake rounds. I crumb coated this and covered in bright red fondant. Next, I cut out some white circles using fondant and added them to the mushroom top. Of course, it wouldn't be a Smurf house without a door, so I sculpted this using brown fondant and a wood impression mat. Then I added the little details like the little heart window and the doorknob. I couldn't forget the chimney, which I sculpted and placed right on top. Then for the cutest little detail, I added this window along with shutters and even some tiny curtains. I gave the Smurfs their own mini forest with bright and playful fondant trees in 2 different shapes and sizes. I placed them on each side of the cake and then filled the greenery with tons of tiny, colorful flowers. In the new Smurfs movie, No-Name Smurf is on a journey to discover his special gift and finally earn his true Smurf name. If I were in the village, I'd probably be Cake Smurf or maybe even Buttercream Smurf. What do you think yours would be? Right after placing the flowers, I sculpted some of those signature red mushrooms and scattered them throughout the scene to tie it all together. And now for the best part, sculpting the Smurfs. I used blue fondant and shaped each one by hand, starting with their little round heads and signature hats. Each Smurf has their own personality in this movie, like Brainy Smurf and Hefty Smurf. I added tiny features like eyebrows, noses, and different expressions to bring them to life. Smurfette had her long yellow hair, and Papa Smurf got his red hat and beard, of course. I think my favorite Smurf to make was Brainy Smurf. His glasses were just too adorable. And they may be small, but these little guys took time. I added their little bodies and then I placed them around the mushroom house one by one like they were just hanging out in the village. Each one found their own little spots, some by the trees, a few near the door, and Papa Smurf right up front. This part honestly brought the whole cake to life. Once they were all in place, it really felt like a true Smurfs village. And for the final touch, I added the official Smurfs movie logo. It pulled everything together and made the cake feel like it stepped right out of the movie, which is the family movie of the summer. I can't wait to take my kids to see it in theaters. Get your tickets to see Smurfs only in theaters July 18th. I hope you guys like this one.